morning, everyone. As you can see, I am not Peggy Law. Peggy, our fearless leader, is unfortunately homesick today. She feels so sad at not being here. I think this is her absolute favorite time of year and her favorite event. We told her that we would pull it off, fingers crossed. There's always a certain amount of chaos, but we have things under control. And she sends her love to our graduating teams, as well as her thankfulness and gratefulness for the many volunteers we have here today handling dogs. And on top of everything else, it's Peggy's birthday today. So we're filming this and we'll show it to her. So we just want to say happy birthday, Peggy. We miss you. We know you're here in spirit, and we'll pull this off successfully and have a great program. So thank you. We know today was sometimes the winter, hard to get up, be here, etc. We're grateful everybody made it. The roads weren't great, some were icy, but hopefully everybody found their way without too much trouble. I can assure you this program, despite how cold it is, will truly warm your hearts and make your journey here a worthwhile one. Today is a celebration, not just of our dogs, but of the incredible partnerships that have formed and the lives that are being changed. And none of this would be possible without your support. As we complete our 25th anniversary year, we are grateful for what that support has made possible. New puppies have arrived and new graduates have started their lives with a dedicated service dog by their side. And as we move on to next year, things will get even more exciting as we prepare for two big initiatives at SDV. The first one, many of you have heard about. We are about to break ground on a new campus that has been specially designed for our work. A campus that gives us the room we require to expand our programs, to whelp and raise more puppies, to offer more continuing education for our clients, and also to include more volunteers in the care and exercise of our dogs. More details to come about that effort toward the end of our program. Second, we'll be starting a service dog training program at Buckingham Correctional Center in Dillwyn. Many other service dog schools throughout the country have had great success with prison programs, and we are learning much from their work. We will train select inmates at the Buckingham Center so that they can help us train our dogs. This program will help us as we expand, but will also help the inmates who seek to have meaning and a sense of purpose in their lives and make amends for their past mistakes. You'll hear more about that as the year continues to 2026. Now on to our program. Before we hear from our remarkable graduates, we have one of the highlights of our ceremony, which is our opening puppy parade. In just a minute, our service dogs in training will make their way down the aisles and onto the stage with our wonderful volunteers. You'll see dogs ranging from just 3 months old to 2 years, and you'll be able to see the difference, not only in size, but in maturity level. It could be total chaos, we never have any idea, but stay tuned. Today's parade is set to the song, Hey Hey, We're the Monkeys. It may seem like a funny choice, but this younger generation, who frequently monkey around and often do what they want to do resemble that 1960s rock and roll group in many ways. We love and cherish each one of their unique personalities and continue to cheer them on as they mature into life-changing service dogs. Without further ado, and give us a minute just to key up the music, we introduce our puppy parade.
Here we come.
Let's hear it for our puppies. Awesome job. You can see the little ones toward the front, the bigger ones behind. Quite a variety.
Tina, are you introducing?
As they leave, I just wanted to say a couple things. I just wanted to point out what it takes to be a foster raiser during this stage of the puppy's life. We have the puppy raising part, which takes about a year, which is a huge commitment. You basically have to be with your puppy all the time. You bring the puppy in for class once a week to us, but you take the puppy home and you are with the puppy all the time. So that is huge. The second stage is our advanced training, where we have nights and weekends volunteers who drop their dog off at class with us and then take them home at night and on the weekends. Also a huge commitment. And lastly, we have our respite volunteers who take on the dogs when the regular fosters have to go away, go on vacation, just need a break. So we thank you to all of them. We thank you to all of the volunteers who were part of the puppy parade, which includes some of our board members and our raisers. So one more round of applause for them. And I'm just going to introduce them all as they walk off the stage. Jake and his puppy raiser, Liz. Carl and his puppy raiser, Nancy, and Nancy has raised nearly 30 puppies for SUV. Justine and puppy raiser, Christy, probably our youngest pup up here. Kona and volunteer Barbara. Daisy with nights and weekends volunteer, Jessica. Penny with board member Robin. Perry with nights and weekends volunteer David. Nori, an SDV board member Polly, who also travels long distances to pick up puppies from other organizations across the U.S. Mulligan and her puppy raiser, Terry. Sadie and board member Marty. Nitro and nights and weekends volunteer, Sebastian. Lily and board member Jim. Woody and board member, board chair, Lonnie. And last but not least, Dodger and nights and weekends volunteer, Jan. Just give us another minute to change course here. All right. We'd like to welcome our 7 graduates to the stage. First up, we have Eric and STV Stratos. From the very beginning, Stratos was a unique and very, he was a hooligan, I have to be honest. We had so much fun watching Stratos as a puppy in the office. We often wondered half the time what he was doing, what he was thinking. He was just an anomaly to a lot of us. But one of those dogs, and many are like this, we think at one stage, oh my gosh, they are never gonna make it. And Stratos has turned the corner and is doing incredible work, as you'll hear, and has totally redeemed himself. From the beginning, Stratos showed a natural connection with children. So training him as an autism service dog was an easy choice. When Eric, his wife Elise, and his son Edward came to our facility and met Stratos, it quickly became clear he was the perfect match for their family. Stratos now helps Edward with transitions, sleep, and making outings together much easier and less stressful for the entire family. Join me in welcoming Eric and Stratos to the stage.
Stratos. Remember. Let's try again. Come on. Stratos, jump on. Down. Stratos. Down. Yes. Good. We can notice here. You have your tool. All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm good. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Can I speak or telephone?
Can you speak on the telephone? Maybe. Yeah, we'll see. We'll let you introduce yourself. So yeah, good morning, everyone. I'll try to keep this short and sweet because I know a lot of people are working really hard today, and a lot of dogs are working really hard today. Oh, my apologies. I'll just keep the mic up. So yeah, I'll try to keep this really short and sweet. Allow me to just introduce myself really quick. So I'm Eric. I am officially Stratos' handler. This is my son, Edward. And of course, this is our service dog. His name is Stratos. He is absolutely our family's little superhero. What you doing, buddy? So I'm just gonna share like one really quick story to just really demonstrate how invaluable Stratos is to our family. Transitions are really hard for our family, and as you can see, so Edward, he has autism. And you just don't even realize how many transitions there are throughout the day until you work with someone who and care for someone who has autism. And just really basic rudimentary stuff, from like waking up in the morning to walking downstairs to getting ready for breakfast, getting dressed, getting out the door for school. It's a lot of transitions, a lot of micro transitions. And Stratos is just there, pretty much every step of the way. So quick story, so yesterday I was picking up my son from school. And just to give you an idea of the stuff you have to think about as a parent of someone who has autism, my wife and I were about to walk out the door, and so we had to quickly game plan. Taking 2 cars to go and pick up both of our kids. And you're good. And so Edward came, running out the door, and he was really upset, and he was sad, and he had a really long day. And you can imagine, what's going on in his head. Long week, long day, a lot of masking going on. and he's just tired, and sort of like you see right there, he just jumped into my wife's arms. But Stratos was right there for him, and it made that situation just infinitely easier. We were able to, just open the car door, get him into his car seat, and say like, hey, Stratos is here for you, buddy. Why don't you go and give him a hug? And it just really helped calm him down a lot. And that might seem like just, again, very basic for someone who doesn't have a child with autism. But for us, really 10 to 15 times per day, it means the absolute difference. And like Caroline mentioned, just being able to have Stratos with us through each and every one of those transitions, when we're going to the store, it just makes a lot of that stuff so much easier. And things can really, the day can feel a lot like a minefield. And a lot of times we have to be really creative and play chess just to kind of work through that. But ultimately, when you have a dog like Stratos, again, he is just an amazing system and tool to just help us mitigate a lot of that. So just hats off to STV and the work that they're doing with these dogs. I mean, it truly makes things so easy for families like ours. So thank you.
Our next graduate is Jonathan and his service dog, Remy. Jonathan served in several first responder roles, very stressful ones, which led to his PTSD diagnosis. Even with therapy, being out in public remained challenging. So he reached out to STV to see if a service dog might be a right fit for him. After visiting our facility and meeting Remy, it was clear they were a match. Remy was drawn to Jonathan and stayed by his side throughout the entire initial meeting. Remy is trained to help Jonathan in public by interrupting signs of anxiety, among other things, and together they make a strong, confident team. Join me in welcoming Jonathan and Remy.
Good morning, everyone. Hang on. A lot of excitement here. Turn. This way. Down. Stay. My name is Jonathan. Like Tina said, I have PTSD, and I'm not ashamed anymore to let people know that. I come from a 19-year history of public safety, including fire, EMS, paramedic, a little bit of time on a SWAT team. That's when I was skinnier. So I still work in healthcare, but in a much different aspect now. And that was part of dealing with the PTSD as well. I came from a generation in the late 90s where we were more focused on compartmentalizing and dehumanizing the whole process. We were trained to not have emotion. We were trained to basically be robots and do the job, and that's the only way we were thought to go through. As everybody knows that remembers 9/11, we got a lot more respect after that day, but it was hard for all of us, even the ones of us that were not there. That being said, Remy, literally we finished transition camp Labor Day weekend, and 9/11, of course, was just a few weeks later. I had him at work with me at the hospital and didn't realize what was going on, but he picked up on it. That's always been a very, very stressful day for me. He would not leave my side. He wouldn't lay on his nice fancy bed he had in my office. He stayed curled up at my feet. And that was the first initial reminder of what he was going to be able to accomplish and what STV had given us. It's made a huge difference. Like she said, some of the regular activities of daily living, most people take for granted. You don't think about, you have trouble with them. Even going shopping was a nightmare for me if my family was not with me. Now I don't think about it. We went to the zoo a couple weeks after we had him home. I wasn't stressed out about all because in your mind you know that the threats aren't real, but they're still there. And I was focused on him, I was focused on my family, and I didn't think about it anymore. So with that being said, there's countless stories of things where he's already done to help my family. He helps my daughter, he helps my wife. Just from him being there in the hospital, he sees my coworkers, they see him, they smile. Like he doesn't even interact with them, but he's just being there is enough. So we want to, Remy and I and my wife and my daughter want to be advocates for mental health, and we want to be advocates for Service Dogs of Virginia because they're family. Like the minute you walk in, they're family, and they make you feel that way. You call them in the middle of the night, they'll pick up the phone. If I have a concern, I can't say how much they support the community and how much they support those of us that really need their help. Thank you.
If you were here last year, you may remember Hannah. Hannah shared how her first service dog, Olive, helped her gain the confidence and independence to become a thriving and independent young adult. Now, her second successor dog, Clara, who is trained as a medical alert dog to alert her to low cortisol, is continuing to support her and help her thrive. Please join me in welcoming Hannah to share more about her journey with Clara.
Very down, down. Good girl. Stay.
Hello, my name is Hannah Hoffert, and this is my medical alert service dog, Clara, or Clarabelle, as I like to call her.
Clara, sit.
Clara is my second service dog, and I was partnered with my first service dog for 7 years. Her name was Olive. I have a rare endocrine condition called Addison's disease, or primary adrenal insufficiency. My adrenal glands do not function normally, and they do not produce the cortisol that my body needs to survive. Cortisol is used by your body to respond to stress. Everybody always thinks of mental stress, but the physical stress of normal daily activities is even more significant. So the stress on your body from walking up a flight of stairs or giving a speech at graduation is also, or all those things can add up on your body. And without steroid cortisol regulation, my body will go into an adrenal crisis, which can be fatal. Before having a service dog, my world was uncertain. I am unable to tell when I am going into an adrenal crisis, and so that's where my service dog comes in. They are able to alert me before I start exhibiting any physical symptoms of an adrenal crisis, and it has been truly life-changing. Olive was the first service dog that SDV trained to detect low cortisol, and since then SDV has trained many dogs to provide this service for other clients, including Clara. For 7 years, Olive and I conquered the world. She was placed with me right after I graduated college, and we grew up together. And when it came time for her to retire, I was partnered with Clara. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, even if you cannot see it in the moment. 2 weeks after I was partnered with Clara, Olive's vet found a large tumor in her spleen during a routine checkup. And then a week after that, she passed away. So call it luck or divine intervention, but the fact that I had just been partnered with Clara is nothing short of a miracle. Clara was partnered with me when I needed her most, even if I couldn't see it at the time. She has brought so much joy to my life, and I truly cannot express how thankful I am to have her. Having a service dog has shaped how I am now able to live my life, and the thought of not having Clara by my side throughout all of this is just so terrifying. When she's not working, she is a goofball at home. She is a lovable, pint-sized superhero, and she loves nothing more than being by my side. And I couldn't have it any other way. She's very different than Olive, and I think that is perfect. I work at Virginia Repertory Theater, and so she is becoming a very well-seasoned theater dog. She goes to all of the rehearsals and performances with me, and yeah, she's backstage everywhere. And I cannot wait to see what other adventures Clara and I will go on, and I know that Olive is looking down and smiling, knowing that Clara is doing an amazing job of keeping me safe. So, thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Our next team is Adele with her service dog, Champ. Adele's journey with SDV began when she was a volunteer. She served as a respite volunteer for Champ one weekend and felt an immediate connection to him and realized how much he helped her manage her autism symptoms. She then reached out to Peggy, and her bond with Champ soon grew into a life-changing partnership. Adele and Champ have been a team for over a year, and today we are thrilled to celebrate them both. Adele.
That's the other way. All right, come here. Down. Hey, jump. Hey, jump. Okay. That's fine too. All right, you did it. Oh. Nice. They like you already.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
We practiced this several times. Good morning. My name is Adele. This is Champ. Champ is trained for autism support, and I have autism. It's my pleasure to share with you today a little bit about how a service dog like Champ can help someone like me. Champ has lived with me and my husband Patricio for 16 months now, and in that time we've had some really good adventures together. Hey, Champ. We've flown together to 2 foreign countries, Chile and Texas. You got the joke, very good. We camped and biked with Champ, riding behind us in a kiddie trailer in West Virginia. We've been to the beach, and we just got back from North Carolina where we were hiking a bit with Champ. But I think that Even more important than those adventures is how easily Champ fits into my normal routine. Hey, Champ. Hey, down. Hey, Champ, down. Okay. Chill out. Maybe you're aware that routines are helpful for someone with autism, and Champ goes along with that. So rather than the adventures, let's talk about the day-to-day. Champ knows our weekday routine very well. He knows that when we wake up, if we're putting our shoes on, he should hurry up and get to the door so that he can join me or my husband Patricio for a run in the neighborhood. When we get back, he sits apparently patiently next to the table where Patricio is having his breakfast, and he's staring at Patricio, waiting for the sign when the chair moves back from the table that it just might be time for his breakfast. Incredibly, in over a year together, we have never once forgotten one of Champ's meals. But he's a purebred lab, and he comes with a trait of commitment of making sure that never happens. After what might be the best 3 to 5 seconds of his day, he can finally rest again. And he does that in whichever part of the house I am. He lays down, he orients his head towards me, and he stares up at me, and he sometimes does a little dance with his eyebrows. He has really good eyebrows. This is when Champ reminds me that whatever we're going to do that day, he'll be there. Before I had Champ, I would regularly rethink going into the office. And although I like the routine of going into work, there are a million unknowns about an office. Champ is a constant that makes the other factors comparatively less important. He joins me for one-on-one and small group meetings. He breaks the ice in hallway conversations. He reminds me to get up from my desk from time to time or eat my lunch outside. On the car ride home, I always eat an apple and I pass the core to Champ. Somehow, he was also trained to spit out the seeds. Basically, he's there for all parts of my day. Champ changes my life by showing me that we are actually relational beings. The word autism comes from the root autos, which points towards a withdrawal into oneself. I was diagnosed with autism as an adult, but even as a kid, I had some sense that I could be completely self-sufficient, that maybe it's better that way. Actually, neither me nor Champ are better off apart, and somehow I'm okay with that now. The same gratitude that I have for Champ, I also have for Service Dogs of Virginia. The humans behind these dogs are really incredible. The story of me and Champ started with an email exchange with Peggy that eventually led to her writing, "Why don't you apply for a service dog with us?" I didn't imagine myself with a service dog, and with Peggy we found the right fit. To have someone see you non-judgmentally and commit to helping you in a way that you couldn't do yourself is really powerful. I've felt that way with each staff person at SDV. Peggy, Caroline, Tina, Linda, and we also worked with previous trainers, Merce and Madeline. Thank you so much. To each person who supports SDV, to the puppy raiser and her family, Missy, and to each of you who are here today doing that right now, thank you as well. I hope you continue. And I hope that when you see one of these beautiful service dogs out in public, you don't run up and pet it. You can smile and say great work. And by that, I hope you can recognize all the hard work it takes to make a great service dog team and the value of an organization like Service Dogs of Virginia. Thank you.
Thanks, Adele. And Jim. Michelle is an academic advisor at Virginia Tech's School of Design. After seeing how facility dogs, like Josie at Virginia Tech's Cook Counseling Center, supported students and how consistently in demand these dogs were, She reached out to STV to explore bringing a facility dog to the School of Design. Aiden has now been working at Virginia Tech in the School of Design for nearly a year and has already made a meaningful impact on both students and faculty. We also want to congratulate Michelle on receiving the Outstanding New Advisor Award from NACADA, the Global Community for Academic Advising. We kind of think Aiden may have had something to do with that too. Please join me in welcoming Michelle to share more about Aiden and their work together at Virginia Tech.
Thank you. Hello, good morning. Again, like they said, my name is Michelle Flincham, and this is Aiden. Aiden is the School of Design facility dog, and I would like to say he is the best friend of every student at the school, and probably a lot of faculty members as well. When I first came to Virginia Tech and started working with these students, I was overwhelmed with how much anxiety and how big the world felt and how big every single problem felt. I found that building connection in moments of not formal moments, but the informal moments when you're able to have a conversation, that's when students are able to really open up and share with you what's actually happening with them. Too often I felt like with academic advising, we weren't getting to the root of what was really happening with these students. So I started doing some social events, and we would try to get the Cook Counseling dogs there. And sometimes it's hard to get them, because if we didn't book out 6 months, you didn't get Josie or Derek or Epcot. So met with Raimi and started my journey with SDB. I was not sure that they would see the value in getting Aiden to our school or entrusting him with us, and I'm so glad they did, because the impact that this dog has made is profound. It's not even just the big moments of the students who are in my office having a true mental health crisis. It's walking to campus and having students look up and smile. And every morning, I can't even count the impact just seeing this dog on campus has on people. And then for the students, just this past fall, I have one student whose family, she's from a little town up in Maine that has no more than 800 people in it. When she left, she felt swallowed up in the hustle and bustle of Virginia Tech. And within the first 2 weeks, she started making a regular occurrence to come visit with Aiden. Her visits are not quite as frequent now, which I think is a testament for how well she's adjusted, and I don't think she would have gotten there had she not found a safe space with Aiden. Again, thank you, Service Dogs of Virginia. Thank you, Linda, for always picking up the phone when I have a million questions about Aiden's tendency of forgetting. He's highly trained when he meets other dogs on campus because he loves them so much. Thank you for Randy for being an incredible mentor on campus, and Josie for reminding Aiden about his training here at Service Dogs of Virginia. To everyone who has spent time loving on these dogs, thank you. Your love is amplified on any campus or anywhere that these dogs are put to work in a facility setting. And thank you to anyone who is able to support this organization in any way you're able to. Aiden might have had a career change, but I think that his impact is also really notable, and really appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next graduate is Margaret and STV August. Margaret was first paired with SDV Fender in August of 2024. And Fender worked as a facility dog with Margaret at the UVA Women's Center. Very sadly, Fender passed away in the spring of 2025. Even in his short time with Margaret at the center, he made a lasting impact. And Margaret knew that when the time was right, a new facility dog would be needed to continue that important work. Enter August, a personable, affectionate dog who loves everyone she meets. Margaret and August trained together this past September, and in just a something happened, and in just a short time, they were ready for placement. August has already begun making a meaningful impact at the UVA Women's Center. Please welcome Margaret and her dog, August.
Jump up. Sit. Sit. Stay. Okay, yeah, that's right. I mean, when I'm not fumbling. Had to get both notes and treats. Good morning. I also want to throw an immediate thank you to Service Dogs of Virginia. They have made a very appreciable difference to me personally, but also very much to the dozens and dozens and dozens of students who come to the Women's Center every day. August is a funny dog. She is a delight who is the most social dog I've probably ever had. She immediately wants to go and greet and get a response from people, and that is the perfect temperament for a service dog. But I thought, she's young. She wasn't quite 2 when she started, and the first week, she had such an immediate impact. She could sit, and made it very clear she could sit, putting heavy pressure and or putting her head on a client's lap for up to an hour without even moving if the client was jumpy. August, sit down. And I've told Peggy this story and Linda the story before, but I had a client that was brand new who had a really hard story to tell me, and this was in mental health counseling. And she was new to counseling, she was new to the center, and she did not know for sure if she wanted to tell me what she needed to tell me, and she wasn't sure she wanted August to touch her, but she sure wanted August in the room. So I put August in a close position right between my legs, and she told August. And those lab eyes probably opened up for the first time for the student who had had something pretty bad happen as a child, in a way that caused almost immediate engagement. I've never had engagement with that particular kind of situation that fast. And I give it all to August. And now, a person who was a little bit afraid of both counseling and August, come back, baby. Both afraid of the situation and the counseling and dogs, wants August on top of her at every session. So that's kind of one possible story. But she had 5 of those that day, and then she went out for meet and greet and pretty much was like, "Hello, hi, I'm August," for the rest of the way home. So she does the same thing as Michelle's dogs do. Yeah, she's the life of the party everywhere she goes. We're still working on some basics. Thank you so much, Linda and Peggy, for giving me tips pretty frequently. We still need to work a little bit, but she has been great. So I want to thank you all for the support. Again, it's a great organization. It multiplies across, she's already had contact with probably a couple hundred students on a weekly basis, between her group meetings and then my one-on-one plus just walking on grounds. And, it's just been a delight. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Margaret.
All right, jump down, jump down.
So one thing Peggy wanted to make sure I mentioned with a couple of the dogs up here is just how totally goofy they were when they were younger. And as I talked about Stratos, another one, and our last graduate team in that category is Finn. Those of you who had any interaction with Finn as a puppy, or those of us who lived in the office when Finn was there, again, we thought, oh my goodness, this is just not gonna work. He was a hooligan, like Stratos. He took a while to just mature, and at times when that's happening, we all think, oh my gosh, this maybe not this one, maybe we need to make some other plans. But Finn did in a very, very remarkable way, and he's an amazing dog today. We all loved having Finn in the office again because he was just so lovable and goofy. But when he met JJ, the little boy who he lives with, something clicked. He instantly understood that he had a job to do, and he started doing it. After JJ's mom reached out to STD looking for an autism service dog for her son, Finn quickly proved to be the perfect match. Finn and JJ have been partnered for a year now, and JJ has made remarkable strides with Finn by his side. Please join me in welcoming JJ's mother, Megan, and Finn.
Well, it looks like Finn has something to say too. Good morning. My name is Megan, and I am the very proud parent of JJ. And he'll be up here in a minute. And but before then, I want to share a little bit about the pairing of JJ and Finn. And as Tina said, when we met Finn, it was a match made in heaven. And anybody that was there that saw how they interacted with each other would know it was the perfect match. And even prior to that, when Peggy and Linda did the home visit, I saw them looking at each other, and they said, how would you feel about a goofy dog? And I was like, yeah, let's go, goofy kid, goofy dog. I think it's a perfect pair. And they truly have been a perfect pair, being silly when they can be, and being serious when we need Finn to tap in. And he knows when he puts that vest on, he has a job to do. And when his vest is off, he gets fair game to have fun and play and be the lovable friend that JJ needs. The very first day we brought Finn home, we were in the car and we were driving, and JJ is autistic. And as you've heard from others, transitions can be hard. And JJ was originally diagnosed as nonverbal autistic at 2.5 years old. And as we were starting with words, and Jameson was really getting into using verbal communication right around the time we got paired, I remember driving home from graduation here with Finn when we had just gotten paired. I picked JJ up from his therapy center, and on the way from there to our house, I said, when we get home, and he does call him Yellow Dog, as you can hear him now, he wants the microphone as well, so we'll see about that. But between picking up JJ and going home, I said, all right, when we go home, Finn's hungry. We're gonna have to give him some food and some water. And JJ goes, water. And it was the first time he had ever pronounced the T sound. And in that moment, I was like, oh man, this is gonna open speech therapy and all these other moments that I just hadn't even accounted for. The next day, we went to Target. And anyone who knows JJ knows he has a love for the Target store. He was a Target employee not once, but 2 years in a row for Halloween. And that is his favorite place to be. And even not this Halloween, but last Halloween, Finn was Bullseye the Target dog, as JJ was the Target employee. And so naturally, Target was a safe space for us. So we went to Target as the very first time, and Jameson is an athlete. At his young age, he has ran 5Ks at 4 years old, and he is a track star. And that track star has a history of eloping and running, maybe not just at a 5K, but running out of a store too. And we were at Target, and we were doing self-checkout, and everything was perfect. JJ gets to hold this amazing handle for Finn. It helps him stay nearby. And so as we were going to the self-checkout, we were finishing up. Finn, come. We were going to the self-checkout, and as we were finishing up, JJ tries to dart out of the store, and it's right by the automatic doors, the worst thing for a parent. And as JJ starts running, my husband goes, "JJ, what about your dog?" And I kid you not, he stopped in his tracks, turned around, came back and held his dog. And what could have been a really unsafe moment, immediately we looked at each other and knew how amazing it was that we were able to have Finn and the pairing between the two of them. I'm so grateful for the deep pressure therapy Finn gives JJ when we're also in Target and JJ's just having what we call his big feelings, and he has a hard time regulating himself, and Finn can lay across his lap. We've actually read books in Target together as they're both on their bellies in the middle of an aisle, and nobody looks at him any differently because they think his dog is pretty cool, and he is. I really want to say thank you. Thank you to Service Dogs of Virginia. I see some of his trainers. Obviously, there's Linda and Peggy. I also see David and Jess. I also have Adele, who's on the stage, who also had a role in Finn being a goofball and also being serious when he needs to be. And so with that, JJ really wants to come up and say thank you and say hi as we finish this out. I'm gonna hand you the microphone. Are you gonna say thank you? Come right here. Oops. All right, can we just say thank you?
We have another round of applause for our graduates. We're just going to make a couple of adjustments and then get on to our guest speaker. So I just ask for one more minute before we do that, and graduates can exit the stage. Thank you all. Okay, I'd now like to introduce our guest speaker. We would like to welcome Deputy Chief Brian Hall of the UVA Police Department to the stage. Deputy Chief Hall joined the University Police Department in 2019 and became Deputy Chief in 2022, where he now oversees the department's Operations Bureau. Last year, the UVA Police Department reached out to STD about bringing a facility dog onto their team. We're excited to share that STV Woody, who you saw in the puppy parade with Lonnie, sitting right in the front row, will be placed with Lieutenant Maeve O'Neill of the University Police Department early next year. We're thrilled that Woody's going to be a police dog. Please join me in welcoming Deputy Chief Brian Hall.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you for inviting me to be a part of such a meaningful celebration. It is a privilege to stand here today at Monticello High School and honor the dedication, compassion, and service that define Service Dogs of Virginia, as well as the remarkable graduates we are here to celebrate. I want to begin by recognizing the incredible work that your organization provides communities across the Commonwealth. What you do reaches far beyond training. You restore independence. You create opportunities. You help children, adults, veterans, and families reclaim confidence and quality of life. Every dog you prepare represents a unique partnership built on trust, patience, consistency, and purpose. And for those of us in law enforcement, that purpose resonates on a very personal level. I've been in uniform since I was 20 years old. I'm 44 now, which means I've lived more years in uniform than out of it. During that time, throughout every agency I've served with, one constant has stayed with me. Working dogs make people better. They improve teams, strengthen morale, and they provide a sense of safety that is difficult to explain but impossible to ignore. My introduction to working dogs began with my time in the United States Coast Guard. I was stationed at a small boat station in Little Creek, and our station had a Dalmatian who served as unofficial morale officer. He did not track suspects or detect explosives. His job was simpler, but equally important. He watched us. He sat with us on long nights. He sensed stress before it was even named. At a young age, I learned that dogs are partners in every sense, not just in mission, but in human connection. During that same period, I witnessed the maritime safety and security teams and saw firsthand the impressive capabilities of the Coast Guard Labrador Retrievers. These dogs were trained in explosive detection, port security, and maritime patrol. They boarded vessels, navigated crowded terminals, and supported high-risk maritime operations. Watching them work was an education in discipline and instinct. Those dogs were not just tools for detection, they were trusted teammates who extended human capability in demanding environments and gave crews confidence in moments when it mattered the most. When I moved to the Norfolk Sheriff's Office, I saw explosive and narcotics detection dogs operate in a very different environment, where safety depended on the diligence, precision, and constant awareness. Later, in the Portsmouth Police Department, explosive detection dogs, narcotics dogs, and patrol dogs were part of the fabric of the agency. They brought safety, reassurance, and an unspoken confidence to every operation. Any officer who has tracked through the woods at 2 a.m. searching for a dangerous individual knows the values of working dogs. In those moments, the dog becomes your eyes and ears. Their instincts and courage gives officers the confidence to move forward. They help bring people home safely. And they remind us that service is not just about skill, it's about loyalty, trust, and partnership. These experiences shape my respect for the bond between the dog handler and the dog. The bond is operational, emotional, and deeply human. It strengthens morale, it reduces stress, it brings people together in ways that equipment and training cannot alone. Which brings me to now, at the University of Virginia Police Division. We're proud and grateful to welcome our own service dog, Woody. Woody's already making a difference. He's a comforting presence for our officers. He's a calming influence for students. He's an ambassador who helps build trust, particularly in moments when trust is most needed. For many people, seeing a police officer with a service dog changes the entire dynamic of that interaction. People often approach the dog first, as Lieutenant O'Neill can testify to. They smile, they relax, walls come down, and conversations begin that might never have happened otherwise. That is the power of a service dog in a police department. They open doors that badges sometimes cannot. Other agencies have shared similar stories. One department describes a traumatic incident involving a student who was overwhelmed and unable to speak. The service dog quietly approached, sat beside the student, and within minutes of the situation, it changed. The student grounded themselves, began breathing more steadily, and officers were able to provide care in a compassionate and effective way. The dog allowed everyone involved to see a human being standing in front of them and not the crisis they were experiencing. Another agency shared how their wellness dog transformed the culture inside the department. Officers who usually hid stress began to talk. Morale improved. The daily roll call became a place of connection. The dog helped normalize conversations that had once been avoided in a profession where the mental health crisis carries a stigma. That shift is powerful. These stories matter because they show what I hope to gain with Woody at UVA. We want him to be a source of comfort for survivors, a supportive presence for students, patients, and medical center staff who feel overwhelmed, a steady companion for officers carrying the weight of difficult calls, and a bridge that strengthens relationships between police and the community we are entrusted to serve. Policing is about people. It's about relationships and moments. And sometimes the most powerful presence in a room is a dog who brings calm to chaos and connection to uncertainty. Today's graduates represent years of training, dedication, patience, and love. They will go on to serve families, schools, veterans, and individuals whose lives will be changed because of the work you have done. And they will succeed because you have prepared them with care, professionalism, and purpose. To the trainers, volunteers, puppy raisers, donors, and staff, your commitment creates opportunities for people you may never meet, but whose lives will forever be improved. What you do is extraordinary, and it ripples through communities in ways that cannot be fully measured. To the graduates, both dogs and humans, congratulations. You're beginning a partnership that will change lives. And on behalf of the University of Virginia Police Division, thank you for allowing us to be a part of this journey. We are honored, we are grateful, and we are better because of the work you do. Thank you, and congratulations to the Service Dogs of Virginia graduating class.
That was wonderful. I think it really helps ring true how dogs just can infect the entire community and just bring all good things to a very large area. So thank you, Deputy Chief, very much. Now I have the pleasure of turning over the mic to Jim Beer. Jim is on our board and is our chair of our building committee. Jim's going to talk about the new beginning I mentioned at the beginning here, our journey toward a new home. He's also going to report on our progress to date with that effort, opportunities to get involved, and other ways to support STV. Jim, hand it over to you.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be back here with Lily in front of you. You know, as volunteers and service dogs, we're not supposed to have favorites, but Lily, you are the best. Just don't do anything in the next 5 minutes to make me aggressive. So last year we talked about we were starting to make plans for a new facility. And Carolyn, if I could have the next slide, I'm here to report it's really going to happen. In fact, permit God's willing, in the next few days we're going to break ground on this new facility. And we're doing this new facility not because we want a nice fancy building, although that would be nice. It's so we can double our impact on the community. We want to go from graduating 8 to 10 dogs a year to 20 dogs, and this facility will allow us to do that. In the past year, the board and staff members have been out visiting state-of-the-art facilities across the nation, stealing their best ideas, and probably most importantly, figuring out what may not work. This will be just an impressive place, and I think a facility that will last for a generation of training service dogs. So it's located just a few miles east of Charlottesville Airport in the Southwest Mountains. Our neighbors will be places like Castle Hillsidry and the Stony Point Fire Department. It's really a beautiful parcel, 40 acres, very spacious. And I want to just show a few of the elements of this new facility. Next slide, please. Of course, where all the magic happens, or most of the magic happens, is in the training room. We have a huge space, 4 times the size of our current facility space. And I don't know if you can see in the lower right, it's kind of a lot of light there. But it's kind of small, and occasionally if the dogs are feeling frisky, it's hard to have really effective training sessions. And not only will it be a big area to help limit some of that, you see the offices along the right-hand side of that room for a significant number of trainers, all with their own space to be able to train dogs. Basically, it's a place where lots of training can happen. And it's emphasized that in the future we can hold events like this actually at our own facility. Next slide. So important in having a service dog facility that runs smoothly is to control how many dogs you have coming in. And we want to establish our own breeding program. And toward that end, we will have a puppy center. And it will be capable of handling whelping 2 litters just simultaneously, not only the whelping room, but enrichment areas. And you can imagine it'll be very, very exciting to have, I don't know, up to 15 of those little faces staring at us once they, I would hope here around a year and a half in the puppy center. Next slide. So one thing that really limits how we can do things is we don't have a kennel. And currently we pack the dogs into Tina's or Linda's office, and these guys are escape artists. We try various types of different gates. Sometimes they go over, often they go through. I mean, you put 4 of these big labs running down the hall, I mean, they could play offensive line for the Who's. So having a kennel, a properly designed kennel, will allow us to have the dogs overnight during the week. And they will still have weekend rest, weekend volunteers. But having the actual dogs on the facility makes a huge difference to how efficient an operation we have. And it really, quite honestly, makes help us keep the dogs healthy and exercise. And again, it'll be a really state-of-the-art kennel. Next slide. And then finally, there is a swimming pool for exercising these dogs. And Eric, our architect, promised us that the water would be more like the blue of the picture in the lower right than the green, but still, it'll be a beautiful exercise facility, a pool where these dogs can build stamina for the work that they do. All right, so it's really quite a facility. How do we pay for it? So next slide. So we have, through the hard efforts of our development officer, Tina, and Marty Silverman, the head of our capital campaign committee, really amazingly, during this quiet phase, we have secured over $4.3 million for this, which is around close to 70% of the project costs. And we feel we're at a point where we have the confidence to go ahead and go forward. We have a public campaign, so that will all happen starting in January and to put us over the line. Every week we have interesting news, like the Mary Morton Parsons Foundation this week gave us a significant grant as long as we match it 1-to-1. So every dollar that gets contributed toward this is worth 2. And so we're well on the way. And of course, it's also the Christmas season. There, I hope you'll think about giving a gift of a naming opportunity to a loved one. Because there are lots of kennels to be named and lots of training rooms and all that good stuff. So we feel like there are ample ways in which we can get this this facility funded. One of the things coming up that will be very high visibility in our neighborhood, the next slide, Caroline, is our Unleashed program. So soon you will see 20 life-size Labradors painted by local artists over the course of next year on display for several months. Then they'll be auctioned off later in the year. And so please look for that. We want to make Service Dogs of Virginia just a real part of our community, and it's a very visible way to do it. So that's all well and good for a capital campaign, but we still have an operation to run. Next slide, please, Caroline. So there are lots of ways to support us with your time as a volunteer. I think you've heard now lots about how it works to be a nice and weekend volunteer or a puppy raiser. But of course, financially is important to us as well. We have a budget somewhere in the neighborhood of $500,000 a year, and it's all through mostly private donations. And so please consider sponsoring a dog. You saw some lovely puppies up here that need sponsorship. Also, outside, there's merchandise. Does a great job of apparel and tote bags and stuffed animals. All these things help toward making it possible for us to do the work that you see. The fruits of which you see today. Next slide. We really want to make more of this happen, whether it be a physically impaired person getting help, autistic child, or all the wonderful counseling work they do at places like Virginia Tech and UVA and the Women's Center. So anyway, I'm going to close with that. We really thank you for your attendance. We hope you will stay and say hello to Lily. Lily and me afterwards, and all the other dogs will be here. There's some light refreshments, and we just really appreciate you coming out on this cold winter's day to help support Service Dogs of Virginia. Thank you.
Again. Oh, I didn't get it back on again. Thanks, Jim. I'll just echo what Jim said. We do have refreshments out in the lobby. I do want to give a quick shout out to Ariel Resupply Coffee, who donated our coffee out there. It's really good. So help yourself to that and anything else. And thank you again for coming.